After being briefed by Little D about the tech, I informed him that Little Hunchy had ran out on me. He asked what I wanted to have happen to Little Hunchy. I said that he should not be allowed to run out on anyone else. That made the set look awfully bad. Little D gave me his word that he'd handle it. Putting the phone in his cradle, I lay back and smiled inwardly, feeling extremely proud of the set. The mighty 8 trays. By my 5th day in the hospital, I had grown quite accustomed to the comings and goings of the orderlies. I had learned, for instance, that the Chicano woman who had attended me first was the mother of the candy striper who now cleaned my room and was a gang member from 18th Street. She and I chatted twice, but still I had no visitors, and I had not talked to Little Monster. On the afternoon of January 4th, as I lay back in my bed thinking, I noticed 3 people standing in my doorway. At first glance, I took them to be ordinary people who were just passing through looking, as I used to, in anyone's hospital room. But these people looked familiar, in no friendly way. Their look was menacing, and I'll be damned if it didn't hit me like a ton of bricks. It's them, the same 3 who had ambushed me. The mustache, the beard, and the clean-shaven one stood erect and alert at my door. No doubt it was also them who had called my room. What to do? With an IV in my right arm, a catheter in my penis, a tube in my nose, stitches in my stomach, a cast on my left hand, dehydrated and weak, I knew I didn't have a chance. As slowly and as inconspicuously as possible, I reached for my nurse's call button, hoping that Ellis was on duty. My assailants seemed indecisive and fidgety, looking around and, I guess, waiting for the proper moment to make their move. I figured they'd probably stab or suffocate me so as to not make much noise. I pressed my call button several times, hoping to irritate someone, anyone, and have them rush to my room. This, I thought, would persuade my assailants to leave. All the while, I was acting as if I was heavily sedated, so much that I couldn't tell that I was being sized up. Damn, any other nurse would have responded by now. Just my damn luck. I began to despair and settle for the final rest. Of course, I told myself I was going to resist. I would swing as much as I could with the cast, kick my right leg, and bite if I could. But I was sure I'd lose, and I resigned myself to that end. Just then, as in a Hollywood movie where the star never gets killed, in rushed Ellis, past the 3 into my bedside. "What's wrong, baby?" she asked, concerned that something was bothering me medically. "Listen," I began in a low voice. "See those 3 people at the..." "I can't hear you," she said. "Shh, listen," I said, trying to control my voice. "See those 3 dudes at the door? Don't look. "What about them, baby?" "They come to kill me." "Oh, there you go, dramatizing. You need to..." "Look," I said, grabbing Ellis by the collar and yanking her down face to face with me. "They come to kill me. Now, goddammit, do something." I was speaking low through clenched teeth. For now she saw, perhaps for the first time, my 1,000-yard stare. Her eyes grew wide when it registered that I was for real. Even when I let go of her collar, she remained in my face. "Go now and handle that," I told her. As if hypnotized, she slowly rose to an erect position and strode back toward the door. I watched her through half-closed eyes, hoping they wouldn't kill both of us. She stopped in their presence and traded words with them. They were out of my earshot. I saw Ellis gesture toward the hallway to the left, turn, and do the same thing toward the right. I had no idea what she was doing. Whatever it was, it worked, and my assailants moved into the hallway and eventually out of my sight. She too left my sight, but only for an instant. When I saw her around the corner again and come into the room, she had the telephone with her and was moving rather quickly. "What did you tell them?" I asked excitedly. Thrusting the phone at me, she said, "Don't worry about that. You better call your people, cause they coming back." Not knowing how much time I had before they'd be back, I hastily dialed Little Monster's number. It rung once, twice, 3 times, and damn, I dialed the wrong number. On my second attempt, I hit pay dirt. "Bro, what's up?" I said quickly into the receiver. "What's up?" Bro shot back and stammered on. "Man, we've been tearing shit. No, wait, listen. They up here." "Who?" "The 60s, man. The 60s. We on our way." The connection was broken. I rang for Ellis and she came right away. I explained to her the seriousness of my foes and that it was probably the same 3 who had originally shot me. I also turned down her offer to get the police. No, we'd handle this ourselves. She looked skeptical but gave me her word that she wouldn't call the police. The longest 20 minutes of my life were spent waiting for little bro and reinforcements. Finally, I saw little bro bend the corner, followed by little Spike, Joker, little Crazy D, Stone, China, Bam, and Spoonie, the latter three being homegirls. They surrounded my bed so that nothing else was visible to them. Then weapons began to materialize from under their heavy clothing. They had mostly hand weapons, a few buck knives, and little Spike had a sawed-off shotgun, single shot. Little Monster had been out of camp for about 9 months and was working in earnest toward his required second level. He displayed all the traits of promise. From under his shirt, he produced a .25 automatic, and China came out with a box of bullets. "This is for you, bro," he said, handing me the strap and box of bullets. Righteous. I went on to explain the situation and gave a description of all three. Little Spike and Joker went in search of them, while the others stayed to talk. Bro said that he had come to see me while I was in ICU, but I had no recollection of him ever being there. He said he could not stand to see me in such a state. We looked at each other for a long moment, and I could see that he was hurt and wanted to communicate his emotions, but neither of us knew how to do it. So we settled for the unspoken medium of love, each hoping the other would somehow catch the vibes of sincerity. Crazy D had been in an altercation with some 60s in the hall, China told me. No homies had been captured or shot since the tet had begun, and the set was enjoying tremendous coverage by the media. Little Spike and Joker returned with Ellis hot on their heels. "No signs of them fools," Little Spike said with frustration. "Besides," he said, pointing his thumb at Ellis, "we got sweated by home lady here." "You damn right you got sweated. But tell him what you was doing. Go on, tell him," she said loudly. Neither Joker nor Spike said a thing, so I asked him what was up. Joker spoke up first. "Oh, cuz she bent the corner and caught a motherfucker striking up the hood. Gang writing in my hospital. Uh-huh. Not here, you don't. You don't own this goddamn hospital, woman. Who the... Stall her out, Bam. She down with us," I said sharply to the homegirl, who was widely known for her belligerence. "But she... Stall her out," I repeated forcefully. "Kody visiting time is about over anyway." Ellis was now shooting daggers at Bam, who was returning her stares point for point. "Alright, but let us get 3 more minutes, huh?" Yeah, but no more writing, y'all hear?" she said, looking from one hard face to another. No one replied. She finally gave a small sigh and left the room. I began to instruct the crew about my plans once I was released. All seemed quite happy to know that I was recovering well. Little bro and China especially. Not to say that there was any less affection from the others, but China and Little Monster knew me more intimately, so our link was stronger. Soon thereafter, the crew began to leave. The set sign was thrown into a salute by each homie, and China gave me a kiss on the cheek, promising she'd be back the following day. Bro milled around and waited for the last homie to file out. After a minute, he looked at me, then dropped his head. When he raised it again, we both had tears in our eyes. I had been touched, wounded, and although it was never verbally communicated, I was little bro's hero, the closest thing he had to total invincibility. Everything I did, he did, and now, with my being wounded, he knew that there was someone out there that was stronger, more determined than me. The vast weight of this fell heavy on his shoulders, and it became incumbent upon him to destroy that person and save the world, our set. At 14, that's a heavy load. "It's gonna be alright, it's gonna be alright," is all I could say. To which bro replied, "Yeah, cause I'm gonna make it right, watch." We hugged briefly, as much as my stitches would allow, then bro left without looking back. It was times like this that I hated my life. Perhaps this was due to me not knowing answers to certain questions or being able to present my emotions on an intelligible level. Being ignorant is, to me, the equivalent of being dead. I checked my strap to make sure it was loaded and put it under my pillow. If they came back now, it would not be in their interest. Against my better judgment, I dozed off. Time flew by, and daily I became stronger. China was coming to visit every day and even brought a radio, although only after I had sworn on the set, which was more religious than swearing to God, not to destroy it like the last one. I got no more calls or unexpected visits, and on January 14th I was discharged. This was the only time my mother came to the hospital, which didn't bother me too much then. We had grown very far apart, so I never expected her to come anyway. But she had to come on my discharge day because I was still 16 and she had to sign the release form. Our mutual greetings were lukewarm. We talked little on the way out of the hospital. I was rolled out in a wheelchair pushed by my mom. Over my knees was a blanket. and underneath it, the weapon, my hand fully on the grip. In the car, we both made small talk. The days were past where Mom sought to talk me out of banging, but she still was firmly set against it. Little did I know that Mom was under as much strain as I was. This is universally true of every mother who has a child in a gang. But usually communication has long been broken with that parent, who the child looks upon as a familiar intruder trying once again to offset stability. In this light, anything proposed by the parent, whether positive or not, is rejected. The intruding parent becomes enemy-like in thought and is to be avoided. Nothing is to alter the set's existence. For a youth with no other hope in a system that excludes them, the gang becomes their corporation, college, religion, and life. It is in this reality that gang members go to the extreme with tattoos. I now have 8 trays written across my neck and Crips on my chest. Ever see George Bush with Republican on his chest or capitalist on his neck? The moment I got home, the phone began ringing off the hook. Yes, I'm alright. No, I didn't get my dick blown up. No, I wasn't shot in the head. The calls went on like this all day. When night fell, I hit the streets on Little Monster's bike. Little Trey Ball rode by me and carried the weapon. We weaved our way through the hood, stopping here and there to explain blurry details to concerned citizens of the hood and a few parents who were looked upon as friendlies. When we had circumvented a good portion of the hood, we doubled back toward the north. It had gotten chilly, and because of my stay in the hospital, I was unaccustomed to being out in such weather. My open wounds made my trek in such weather all the more dangerous. When we reached the house, Mom was standing out on the front lawn, accompanied by a host of homegirls. Keisha, Judy Brown, China, Bam, Prina, and Big Lynn were all there. Before I came to a halt, I knew something wasn't right. Everyone looked grief-stricken. Mom began in on me right away. "Kody, where you been?" "Just riding in the hood, what's up?" I asked in a nonchalant tone. "You are not supposed to be out in such weather with these open wounds. You know what the doctors told you." Her voice was almost a whimper. "Oh, Mom, I just been riding around. Anyway, I got my jacket on," I retorted. "But honey, you could catch pneumonia out here. Please come in the house." "Alright, but just let me kick it a minute out here," I said defiantly, not about to be talked down by Mom in front of the homies. "No," Mom said with a new force. "Come in now." "Mom, you tripping. I'll be there in a minute." "Monster," Keisha spoke up. "You should just go in the house." Wait, hold it, I responded with both hands up, one palm showing a cast on the other. "Nah, Monster, you hold it. Your mama only trying to tell you what's right." This was Big Lynn. Knowing her prowess, I eased closer toward Little Trey Ball, who was armed. If she made an attempt at physically persuading me into the house, I was going to bust a cap in her ass. "Check this out. I'm only right here in the yard. I'm coming in a minute, okay?" Now, I was looking for some support from the homegirls. I got none. Mom had apparently wooed them before I rolled up. Mom was so overwhelming that even Little Trey Ball was now urging me to comply.